So, it's Valentine's Day. It's fucking Valentine's Day and it's freezing. I'm not having any of it. What's the weather saying?
It's bloody freezing, mate.
Alright, let's go, 52. Let's get to it. Fucking space news. United Arab Emirates celebrated their first mission to Mars as its whole probe entered its orbit around the red planet. That's mad, innit? I mean, I guess we're going to Mars then, innit? Let's say I guess we're going to Mars. We're not. When the planet dies of all of the shit that we've done to it, the elites with all of their fucking trillions of dollars and whatever, they'll all go to Mars and they'll probably get celebrities to be their servants and waiters and cleaners and all that shit. The rest of us will just die. So, you know, it'll turn into some sort of Mad Max world here on Earth or whatever. I mean, I know it's a conspiracy theory, but fuck me. Makes sense, right? Anyway, at the Super Bowl 50, Head Butling's red coat The Weeknd got lost in the corridor. He's in a casino or Blackpool or whatever. And people of the internet reacted as they always do by giving us a shitload of memes. On the topic of memes though, just as the dust settled on the Jackie Weaver incident, Zoom blessed us once again when an American Texas lawyer accidentally triggered a cat filter during a court hearing.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm here live. It's not that I'm not a cat.
I can see that.
Like, can we get one of these a week now or what? I mean, from the looks of it, I don't think he was feeling too confident about his case anyway. So maybe put the cat filter on purpose. Yeah, win it with cuteness, innit? Works on most people. Oscar nominations were announced this week, and as expected, snubbed an array of potential contendees. Most notably, Sam Feder's documentary on the importance of trans representation, Disclosure. And it's not just a shame that the Academy is ignoring one of the most important trans films made, well, ever. But it's also a shame that they're ignoring the huge cultural impact it's had and is having, as well as how relevant it is. This week, 185 LGBTQ plus German actors came out en masse in a joint manifesto, within and on the cover of Süddeutsche Zeitung magazine. You have definitely pronounced that wrong. In a huge and courageous step for equality, not only for the LGBTQ plus community, but for racial diversity. Fuck. Racial diversity? Who the fuck is that? But for racial diversity. This was a huge move and it's obviously been heard all over the world, but hopefully things like this will continue to happen and make a huge impact on the future of the entertainment industry. I guess we'll all be part of that community soon anyway, especially as it's been said that the vaccine turns you gay. Sorry, what? Apparently, according to an Iranian cleric, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, so I'll definitely get it wrong. But anyway, he's saying that those that have had the vaccine have all of a sudden turned gay. Have all of a sudden turned gay? That's probably the craziest conspiracy theory surrounding the vaccine I've ever fucking heard. Let's be hypothetical. Imagine if somebody held him down and gave him the vaccine. Like, what would he do when he's like lying there, having been injected with the vaccine? Like, what would he do? Would he be like, well, I'm a gay now? Or would he just lie there in embarrassment and be like, who fucking knows? The guy's a fucking nutter. 3 people have been rescued after being stranded on a remote Pacific island after going missing over a month ago. The 3 castaways had been missing from the Micronesia archipelago after they set out on a boat heading to Palapa Atoll, which apparently ran out of fuel. They were discovered when an Australian military helicopter spotted an SOS signal they'd made in the sand. And it's been reported that they survived on a diet of conches, coconuts and rats. That's nuts, innit? No pun intended. But that's a mad diet. Imagine being stuck on an island for a month though. I'd go mad enough as it is here in the flat. Imagine on an island with 2 other people. I bet they fucking hate each other now. You know those cartoons when like there's people stranded on an island and they look at each other and they turn into food? That's all I can imagine it being like. Fuck that. I'm too fucking delicious to be stuck on an island with someone else. I'd be like a chocolate man. People wouldn't be able to resist. Anyway, tensions are running high in Haiti amid new anti-government protests calling for President Jovenel Moise to step down. Police in Haiti are using violence and tear gas on civilians and press this week after President Moise refused to step down last weekend in a standoff over disputed election. Apparently he's claiming he's got 1 more year in office when he just like doesn't. Man, I'm not being funny, but isn't it weird how Donald Trump, who was President of the United States and one of the most powerful people in the world, attempted to stage a coup by inciting an insurrection in an attempt to hold on to power in January this year, and since then though it seems like every other fucking week we're hearing of another coup or another attempt to throw out election results somewhere else in the world. We've got Myanmar, Uganda and now Haiti, all in the same space of a month. It's fucking mad, innit? It's almost like he's set a precedent for it. It's almost like he started a fucking trend. But anyway, in America, Donald Trump's impeachment trial has officially begun. Is it began or begun? I think it's either. And it started with the Democrats showing the House an intense video montage consisting of Trump's speech accompanied with footage taken from the state capitol events on January 6th. And regardless, it was met with very little attention from Republicans, as it was reported that many Republicans opted to look away from the footage, choosing to look at their phones, look at papers or files on their laps, or just doodling on notepads. But you know, what do you expect from a bunch of cowards? In fact, I hope they showed this clip.
We can take that place. And then do what? Heads on pike!
I mean, like, I know it was bad on that what happened, but how unready is this guy? It looks like this guy just found a Make America Great Again hat, put it on, and then got found by a bunch of insurrectionists and got dragged to the Capitol. He looks like he has no idea what he's doing there. Was that other guy meant to say heads on pikes? Like the fish? Oh, pikes are actually a thing. Donald Trump's lawyers got off to a flying start by forgetting what they were there to do.
My name is Bruce Castor. I am the lead prosecutor, counsel for the 45th President of the United States. After he's out of office, you go and arrest him. So there is no opportunity where the President of the United States can run rampant in January, the end of his term, and just go away scot-free.
Fucking hell, man. In fact, Trump's lawyers did such a bad job of fighting their case. Even Republicans were embarrassed.
President Trump's team were disorganized.
They did everything they could but to talk about the question at hand. Now, if I'm an impartial juror, and one side's doing a great job, and the other side's doing a terrible job.
Why do you think the Trump defense team did a terrible job?
Did you listen to it?
But regardless of all this, most Republicans have made it very clear that they have no plans to charge Trump. Oh, and as expected, he just got fucking acquitted. Which is obviously fucked, but all's not lost. Well, it is, kind of. Well, the justice system is, obviously. I mean, we can't be surprised, really, can we? The GOP are treating Donald Trump like the American legal system treats racist cops. There, I fucking said it. Think about it. How many racist cops have got away with police brutality? Murder? The lot. Fucking loads. We knew this was gonna happen. There's Republicans that are literally fighting Donald Trump's case, who in 2016 were saying that he's bad for the presidency, that he incites violence.
You have a candidate in Donald Trump who clearly has used language that appeals to anger, and in some instances has actually said to the crowd, no, let's beat this person up, or let's do this, or let's do that. So it shouldn't surprise us that you see a growing amount of violence at some of his events.
That's fucking mad. But as I said, all is not lost. There are still over 30 lawsuits heading in Trump's direction, including 9 from Attorney General Xavier Becerra, 1 from New York State Attorney General Letitia James, a bunch of lawsuits related to financial misconduct, sexual misconduct, and don't forget all of the debt he's in, which is now being reported to be over a staggering $1 billion. Mate, fucking hell. Imagine that. Here I am worried about my £500 water bill. Imagine a bailiff turning up your house demanding a cool $1 billion. That's fucking mental. Trump's now also being investigated by Georgia for when he called up Brad Raffensperger asking him to find more votes. I mean, one of these has got to stick, right? Because it would be fucking mad if he just gets off scot-free. And actually, if he does get off scot-free, he's just a citizen. So there is a bit of a chance that someone will just end up assassinating him. I say that, but I actually don't want him to be assassinated. I'd rather he just paid for what he done. And he's never allowed to hold office again. It just makes more sense. And the thought of him in jail is just so much nicer. What else in America? Oh yeah, it's been shared a lot on social media. The crimes against Asian people in America have spiked. And although we're hearing a lot more about it, this isn't something that's just started or just came out of nowhere. And although America has always had an insane racism problem, we cannot deny that this has increased since the beginning of the pandemic, given the nature of where the virus may have originated. This, paired with the big orange bastard Donald Trump coining the term the Chinese virus and referring to coronavirus as such at any given opportunity, the fact that Donald Trump is now out of power has made his ignorant, racist, and let's be honest, uneducated followers even more angry. I mean, if they're not denying the existence of coronavirus, they're absolutely directing their hatred and pointing the blame at Asian people. I mean, America's racism problem is fucking huge. There's a massive hatred for basically anyone who's not Caucasian. Jewish people, Chinese people, Mexican people. Look at this.
When I went to his bedroom to say goodnight, and he was crying because of the abuse that he was enduring in this school system.
Then why did you stay in Mexico?
You need to leave!
It's fucking bollocks. And all I can say really is, you know, I'd like to think that all races and allies combined outnumber the racists. So the key really is look out for each other, innit? And work to combat the issue the only way we know how, and that's through unity. But anyway, right then, India. At least 19 people have died and over 200 people have been reported missing after a Himalayan glacier burst, unleashing a huge rush of water and debris, crashed into 2 dams in northern India. And as awful as this situation is, it's also a worrying sign of things to come. Data suggests that in the coming years, global warming will cause mountain temperatures to rise twice as fast as the global average, whittling away glaciers and threatening communities in the Himalayas and further afield. Also in India, farmers continue to protest as part of a nationwide strike, made up of around 250 million people, making this one of the biggest, if not the biggest, protests in history. If you don't already know, since the end of last year, protesters in India have blocked the NH44 and 5 other busy highways in Delhi to protest against farming reform. The farmers who have set up camp in and around the city are doing so because Prime Minister Modi's government have brought in changes to the agricultural farming industry that could be devastating for over 500 million people in India. These changes seek to dismantle protections for farmers and allow corporate companies to operate unregulated, thus monopolising the market and causing hardships for farmers. And because of the state of the markets, over 50% of farming households are in debt, which has led to over 20,000 farmers committing suicide since 2019. Anyway, despite the government's efforts to challenge protesters, the people occupying these highways have settled in their locations, setting up markets and developing communities, insisting they'll protest for however long it takes until the correct reforms are made. Fucking good. People need to understand that the majority has the power, and the citizens of India obviously get that. Government's sole purpose is to serve those who elect it. It's as simple as that. Rightfully, India is making a stand. The people of France do it, the people of Beirut did it, but what are we doing here in the UK?
Put them up in the polls.
What? So yeah, what did people of the United Kingdom do to protest against a corrupt government who stole £12 billion of taxpayer money to give to a handful of their mates, thus leading to the mishandling of a pandemic, costing the lives of over 115,000 citizens and forcing millions of workers into debt, the same government that made cuts to the National Health Service, which has also contributed to these debts. A government that allows over 280,000 people to be homeless, whilst over 648,000 homes sit unaccommodated. The same government that literally tried to leave children to go hungry, whilst they themselves all ate on the expense of the taxpayer. What did we do to make a stand against them? What was it? Oh right, yeah, we did a projection on the Big Ben. Called Boris Johnson a wet wipe. Pure bants, innit? So yeah, let's talk about the UK. On the plus side, coronavirus cases have dropped by 46%, but on the bad side, we now have a new mutation of the UK Kent variant of COVID-19. Apparently, the new mutation named E484K, which has turned up in Manchester, Bristol and 3 other locations in the country, could lessen the antibody response needed for the vaccine to work. Well, that's just fucking great, innit? Let it be known that it is the spread of a virus that allows it to mutate. That's just a very simple fact. The longer that a virus is allowed and able to be passed around, the more likely a mutation is to occur. So it's very hard to sit here and think that I don't think this will happen again. The original Kent variant is proven to be the most dominant variant around the world, and that was discovered when? December. And now we've got a mutation of that variant discovered this week. That's 2 strains in 3 months.
Are we the baddies?
Says it all really, innit? As our government refused to offer greater support for people to stay at home, the virus will continue to spread and mutate where possible. And that's it. Sorry guys. Also, so apparently on a global scale we've now surpassed 2 million deaths. Fucking hell. Hold up, so when was the first death? It was like January, right? Or early February? And we hit 1 million when? Like last September? So it took 8 months to get to 1 million deaths, but 4 months to double it and reach over 2 million. That's fucking mad. What else is happening in the UK? Oh yeah, Matt Hancock has booked himself a holiday for the summer after the government advised the public not to book any holiday. So we're back on the mixed messaging thing, right? I mean, it's no surprise, is it? It's always been one rule for them and another rule for us. And what are we gonna do about it? Absolutely fuck all. You know what we should get? We should get somebody like at the airports and at the docks and whatever, like handing out letters. But if you already live in the country, you already get one of these letters when you're like 18, which is basically an appointment letter that books you in to get your backbone removed. Because we obviously don't fucking need it here, do we? It's fucking true though, innit? Bunch of fucking pussies. And come on, what are our options really? What, Labour? Labour aren't doing shit. They've offered no alternative vision, and in the latest polls, Conservatives are still ahead. Like surely now, at this point in time, nobody in their right mind would be supporting the Conservatives, right? But of course they do, because all the fucking propaganda, Rupert Murdoch and the Daily Mail and all that fucking shit. People lap it up, and it's for that very reason that we find people putting projections on the fucking side of Big Ben. But in other countries where people are getting fucked over, they're making a stand. In any other country, had the government done what our government have done, they'd have been forced out of power. But absolutely not here. When it's the fucking worst, we know that our government are fucking us. Everybody knows what they're doing. It's getting to the point where they're not even fucking hiding it, and we're putting projections on the Big Ben. Does anyone see the issue? But anyway, moving on. NHS reforms. So look, I've not read this fucking white paper bollock, but I did watch Matt Hancock take questions from the Shadow Health Secretary this week, and it does to me seem like this is exactly what it's being called, a power grab. And I do also think that this isn't the right time to reform an entire system. I mean, during the worst health crisis this country's faced in modern history, seems like a lot of work. In April of last year, when questioned about a wage increase for NHS workers, the workers who were out there literally saving lives, saving your fucking life, Boris Johnson said that now is not the time. And apparently now, 9 months on, it still isn't the time to increase their wages. But it's absolutely the time to reform an entire system in which they work. The system that now has an operations waiting list of over 4 million people. And due to the state of current circumstances and lack of wages, in a survey from last autumn, 37% of NHS workers said they would leave the service as soon as the pandemic had calmed down. So I tell you what, put more money into the service, raise the wages, look after the staff, which would in fact help reduce that waiting list, and then make your fucking reforms, you money-grabbing, power-hungry fucks. Fuck me, drives me up the fucking wall. What the fuck are we gonna do about this fucking government? It's fucking bollocks, man. Like, if we don't do something, then in like 10 years' time, imagine what it'll be like. Like, the country's fucked right now. Imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years' time. Imagine what our kids are going to have to go through. They'll have nothing. It's insane. Unbelievable. But anyway, that's enough from me. If you're a friend of mine, please share this video. If not, it's totally fine. Take care of yourselves and see you later.